Hi everyone, welcome back for another episode of Adams for the Love of Movie Picks. This time around we're going to be talking about the 1992 film Encino Man. Before we get into it, I just want to make a little reference there. So on the case it says, where the Stone Age meets the Rock Age. I always thought a funnier title would have been where the Stone Age meets the Stoner Age. Just because of, especially with the character Stoney. But that's just my own personal opinion. So, Encino Man, the basis of Encino Man is two high school kids, one who's digging up his backyard to make a pool for prom, inadvertently dig up a frozen caveman and thaw him out and bring him back to life. Obviously, in real life, this concept would never work. At least in this process of suspended animation, whereas you freeze somebody, if it's not done properly in a medical setting, if you believe in such things, it won't work. You can't just, drop a guy into turn him into an ice cube, more or less, and expect him to survive for 10,000 years, or however long he's been frozen. But, for this movie, it works, for the sake of argument. It's not practical, let's say. So, Encino Man stars Brendan Fraser as Link, the caveman. Sean Astin as Dave Morgan. Pauly Shore as Stony Brown, or Stanley Stony Brown. Megan Ward as Robin Sweeney. Robin Tooney as Ella. Michael DeLuise as Matt. Ki Hua Kwan as Kim. You might most recognize him as Data from the Goonies and Short Round from the Indiana Jones movies. Esther Scott as Miss McKay. Rose McGowan as Nora. Jack Noseworthy as Taylor. Eric Avery as Raji. Jerry Bednob as Kashmir. And Sandra Hess as the Cave Nug, or Link's significant other before he was frozen. I think that's pretty much the extent of the well-known actors in this one. So, Encino Man, the concept of it is quite interesting and quite humorous. Like I said, two high school dudes, best buds, inadvertently dig up and thaw out a 10,000-year-old frozen caveman from the Ice Age. Now, instead of doing what most practical people would do, call science people and, get it all officially done and, studied and what have you, they decide to domesticate him. More, because they're high school students, they decide to domesticate him as a high school student, of all things. Which leads to all kinds of, hilarious hijinks. As stupid as the concept as this movie sounds, and of course, there are those of you that, a lot of people from what I hear, that don't really like Pauly Shore as an actor. He's not the greatest actor in the world, but for certain roles like this, he's perfect for the role of Stoney. I like Sean Astin as the role of Dave, and I think Brendan Fraser is perfect as Link. It's one of those movies, as stupid as it is, and it's supposed to be stupid, it is funny, and it just works, in my opinion. I highly recommend Encino Man. Basically, you're trying to domesticate a man who's probably the most modern thing he's ever been introduced to is fire. Before coming to the modern world, getting him used to things like television, and the fact that he could make fire with a flick of his finger as opposed to having to rub a stick together. And then you've got funny stuff, especially when you got somebody like Stoney trying to teach him how to be domesticated. Is pretty funny. Pardon me, folks. You've got Stoney taking him to the local convenience store, teaching him the 4 food groups of a stoner. You got your milk duds, your dairy, sweet tarts, your fruit, corn nuts, your vegetable, and burrito is your meat. It's pretty damn funny. And then, of course, he just doesn't pour him out a Slurpee out of the machine. He teaches him to drink right out of the Slurpee machine. Needless to say, Link gets a brain freeze. and that's another thing that's great about this movie. It's a classic representation of its era movie. Like, it's so 90s, this movie. The lingo, the clothes, the technology of the time and stuff like that is so 90s, but I think it works perfectly for this movie. The only other era that you could pull this movie off in, I think, would be the 80s. Because, yeah, in the modern thing, I don't think it would just have the same feel. I don't think it would be quite as funny. And then, of course, there are parts of it are just, Link just, not used to the modern world. Like, as soon as he's unthawed and he's walking through the backyard, he steps on a rake and gets it right in the face. And then, of course, after they domesticate him, they clean him up, they give him clothes, and decide to turn him into a high school student. They're taking him to the high school, and he's not used to, like, a clear door, like, a clear glass door, and he walks right into the damn thing. And then, them teaching him how to talk and, things about the real world. It's just absolutely hilarious. I highly recommend Encino Man if you've never seen it. Even if you watch the trailer, the concept seems stupid to you. If you're up for a good laugh, Encino Man is the movie for you. All right, there you are, folks. That's all we have for this week. We'll catch you next week for another episode. Take care.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.